Today is October the 2nd, 2015. My name is Tanya Finchum, along with Alex Bishop. We're with Oklahoma State University, and today we are in Clinton, Oklahoma, to speak with Goldie Kenney, and this is part of our Oklahoma 100-Year Life project, so thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Let's start with having you tell us when and where you were born.
I was born in Higgins, Texas, and 1914, no. Oh, gee whiz. Yeah, 1914.
And what month?
January 23rd.
January 23rd.
And then when I was about 4 years old, we moved to Oklahoma, down by Burns Flat. We moved in a wagon, 2 horses, and I think we took a cow, but I'm not sure of that. But we camped out on the road at night, just made a pallet on the ground. And we got to Burns Flat. There was a vacant house. We stayed in it that night. And next morning, my dad talked to one of the guys there, Jay Dale, and he said, "Mr. Young, why don't you rent this place and farm it?" Dad said, "Well, I haven't got a thing to farm with." He said, "Well, I'll help you." So we stayed there that year, and there was a widow woman who owned the place, and she fell in love with us, and we fell in love with her. And when the year was up, Dad asked her, said, "Mrs. Hines, are you going to rent me this place another year?" She said, "No." Said, "I am going to put you on a better place." So she moved us down by Sentinel, and we stayed down there two years, I think. And then we moved up of Foss. We lived there till we moved on the last place when I was married. So that was my young life.
What did he farm?
Cotton, mostly cotton.
Did you have to help pick?
Yes. I picked cotton, I pulled cotton, I hoed cotton, I plowed cotton. I never did plant any. I couldn't plant a straight row. But I plowed all the rest of the kinds of plowing that'd be done in a farm. I was a farm girl. I took the horses and plowed the ground. My biggest thrill was when my dad sent me to the field to harrow. Do you know what a harrow is? To harrow the ground, and that's not heavy. But he sent me across a creek up to the field with those 4 horses, his best 4 horses. And I harrowed, and he put a board across the harrow for me to stand on. And I said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "I didn't want you walking." So I harrowed those 4 horses. I hooked them up to the harrow, and I harrowed and drove them to the house at noon. I did all of it.
About how old were you when you first did that?
I was probably about, let's see, probably about 14. So I did everything that he could do on the farm. And
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I had 2 sisters and a brother.
Were they older or younger?
They were older. I'm the baby. I'm the baby.
And he let the girls work as hard as the boy?
Yes,
Yes.
they were partial to him.
Were they?
Yep. And he was spoiled. And he was rotten.
They usually say that about the baby.
Well, she wasn't. No, I wasn't spoiled. I was partial to my dad. My mother she was pretty strict. And so I was partial to Dad.
When you got in trouble, which one would punish you?
I didn't get punished. I didn't get in trouble.
You didn't get.
I don't think I ever got a spanking. So,
Well, where did you go to school?
at Foss,
At Foss.
yeah. And we moved from there. I would have had to ride about 5 miles, let's see. I think I would have to ride a horse 5 miles to school, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't set my older sister who was married. I knew I couldn't get along with her. So I quit school. I was in the 9th grade, first semester of the 9th grade when I quit. And I'm sorry that I didn't go. I'm not sorry that I didn't ride the 5 miles in the wintertime. I couldn't have done that. But anyway, after my daughter got in high school, she tried to get me to go back to school with her. And I wouldn't do that, of course. I was an old woman then. And I had chores to do at home, so I couldn't do it. But anyway, that ended my schooling, and I'm sorry that I didn't
Well, what did you do after you quit school?
just help.
On the farm?
Yep. My mama raised a big, big garden, and I would help her in that some. Not very much, but some. But we canned a lot of food. We never suffered for food, ever. During the Depression, we didn't suffer from food. We didn't have any money, but we had food. And then I married when I was 20 and still stayed on the farm till the dam put us off.
How did you meet your husband?
At parties. We kids, teenagers, we played party games out in the yard in the summertime and in the house in the winter. Well, by wintertime we got to dancing and we danced in the homes. Mama would clear out the bedroom. She'd take everything out of the bedroom. We'd dance in there. And I had a good teenage life. Had a lot of fun, a lot of friends. I can't complain about my teenage life. So, and then, of course, after married, we had moved, we bought a farm. And I guess we lived on it probably 10 years or more, I don't know how long. And then we had to move. And we moved to Stafford, the only place we could find to move to. And I was cook in school at Stafford for 2 years. I was the only cook and had 109 kids.
Wow.
Some of them didn't eat there, but most of them did. And
What would you cook? Breakfast or lunch or both?
lunch,
Lunch.
just one meal.
And from scratch?
Just like was at home. Start out with potatoes, some kind of meat.
What was your specialty? What did the kids like best?
Oh, they like chicken when I fried chicken. They all liked what I cooked. I just cooked good meals, not like they are here. But they all like my cooking and they all like me. And then I didn't take the 3rd year and cooked at school. I got a job at Burns Flat in the drive-in, and the Dairy Queen was then. And I worked there 2 years. Yeah. I just worked for a lady on the base owned it.
On the base.
Burns Flat.
Military base?
Clinton Sherman base. And when they closed down, I closed out. I could not stand to see all those guys leaving. I made a lot of friends down there. And when they flew all over the world, you know, and they were good guys. Like one of them, someone said to me one day, said, about the boys out there, and I said, well, those boys are not out there because they want to be. They're there to protect you and me. I was good to them. If they had money, they could eat. If they didn't have money, they could eat. When they went to TGY, there's about 5 or 6 of them went. I don't know what that is. It's just some part of the base, military. I give them all a free meal, and when they came back, I gave them a free meal. So, and they brought me gifts.
Why did you have to move from Floss?
Foss.
I don't know why we had to move. My dad bought a place up north of Foss, and we moved up there. And I would have had to gone to school to Pie Flat. You know where Pie Flat was.
But when you got married, you lived
You
where?
lived on the farm. Why did you move when you got married from the farm to Stafford? I think you said.
Well, we had to move, and that was the only place Jim could find for us to move to. We didn't have any money, we couldn't buy anything. We bought a gin house at Stafford. It wasn't a very good house, but it covered you.
Why did you have to move though?
From Stafford.
from the farm, you and Jim? Why did you have to move from the farm?
The dam.
The dam.
We were the first ones to have to move so they could build the dam. And it's right where we were living. Yeah. That's why we had to move.
Is that the Foss Dam? Is that what
The
it?
Clinton Dam.
Clinton.
Lake.
Clinton Lake Dam, okay.
Yeah. And so
Did they pay you a little bit for that?
they paid us a little bit, but they didn't pay us what it should have.
Right.
They got appraisers from up north, some of the state up north, I don't remember what. But anyway, they didn't know anything about our red dirt. And they didn't give us very much for it. Not enough to buy a place. So I worked at the flat it was called the Dairy Queen then. And I worked there 2 years. And then I bought it. And I stayed there 10 years.
Oh.
And my folks all complained about me working so much. So I retired. And when the base went out, I went out. And then the rest of my life I've just worked. I worked in some of the local places in Clinton, the Busy Bee and Goldie's Drive-In. I put in at the Dairy Queen. I didn't like the atmosphere there. I didn't like the boss.
Well, when you owned the drive-in, was it called Goldie's or something else?
Yeah.
You changed it
I changed it to
to
Goldie's.
Goldie's Drive-In.
And I didn't have to pay a franchise.
Hamburgers and French fries.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I don't know.
Did you have children?
I got a boy and a girl. So, well, I lost a boy, my first child. I lost him. But I have a boy and a girl who will be here after a while.
And what are their names?
Janice, Kenny, Dew, Mary Dew, and Max. Kenny. Do you know Max?
No.
Well, he's an ice hauler. He hauls ice. Janice taught school 20 years. And she got tired of the parents and the kids. So she retired, and then she worked other places. But she's retired now, and they travel a lot.
Well, would they help you at the drive-in?
No,
No.
I helped them.
I thought maybe they might have worked for you.
No,
Did you have any good employees?
I had all good employees. They were older women, like myself. And we all got along good, and they worked good. One of them I could trust. I left the key with her, told her where the money was hid. So I trusted her. Well, I trusted all of them. I knew all of them. So, and I don't know.
Well, what did your husband do once you moved off of the farm? Did he continue to farm?
Yeah,
Did
he
he?
took care of cattle. We had cattle.
Cattle.
And he took care of the cattle. And a lot papers, clean the yard of a morning. But he never helped in the kitchen at all, ever. So, and, oh, I could write a whole book about my life, but, and I should. And I should.
Well, I want to go back. When you were a child, what were holidays like in your home?
Just another day.
Just another day.
Just another, except 4th of July. We always had a big picnic on 4th of July or something. But holidays wasn't anything. Birthdays weren't anything.
Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas was big. We had a big Christmas. And a big Thanksgiving. But other than that, we just worked. My mother was a workaholic. She wanted to be working all the time. She wanted you working all the time. But this little gal didn't always work. She was lazy. But I don't know, I've had a pretty good life. Not a rich life, but a good life. I've worked hard in the field and in the house, and I have no regrets about my life. But I could write a pretty good book on it if I just sit down and do it. But I got now to where I can't write very well, so I waited too long.
Well, you can tell us some of those stories.
So,
Did you sew?
yes, I made my wedding dress.
You did.
Yes. Yes. Mama sewed when we girls were little. And made my brother's shirts. Well, she made all of our clothes, and a lot of them out of feed sacks. So, we were a poor family, but there was a lot of poor families back in the Depression days.
Well, how often would you get a new pair of shoes?
Twice a year. Get dark ones for winter time, and white ones for summer. And in the summer, we would wear the white ones. In the winter, we wore the dark ones. And then, as the season changed, the shoes changed. So we got 2 pairs of shoes a year.
Well, did you work in the shoes or work barefooted?
I worked in high heel slippers, 2-inch high heel slippers. I pulled cotton in those slippers. It wasn't bad. The heel went down in the ground. After I got to be a teenager and got high heel shoes, that's all I had was high heels. Didn't have no tennis shoes or anything like that to wear. And we didn't have a closet full of dresses either.
Did you even have a closet?
No. We hung behind the door. Yeah. We had a 3-room house most of the time. Two beds in the bedroom. And there was a boy that came and visited us a lot. And I have wondered and wondered where he slept. I can't remember where he slept.
A pallet on the floor.
Probably was
Was the bathroom in or out?
out, down the way. Let's see, I was about, well, my daughter, let's see, she had finished school when we first had electricity, or had water in the house.
And when was she born?
She was born in October,
What year?
38.
38. So into the 40s before you got electricity? Wow.
We didn't have electricity or water in the house until we moved to Clinton. After we left Stafford, we moved to Clinton. And then I started working at Burns Flat. But we didn't have no electric.
Well, how would you do your laundry?
Go to the laundry.
Okay.
But when she was a baby, I did her laundry. She had 109 diapers. We didn't afford our diapers. I made them.
You made it.
And made them like a diaper, smaller in the middle. Mm-hmm. And I had 109 to wash.
That took a little while. That took a little while.
Took all day.
And how did you wash them? In a big tub or a rub board?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dry them on the line.
Even in the winter?
Yep.
We're spoiled today, aren't we?
You couldn't live today like we lived. The kids nowadays couldn't take it the way we did. But you know what? I could go back to those days if I had to. I could. I could rub on the board and iron. We ironed everything. Even dish towels. Mama would iron the shirts, the dresses. My sister and I would always iron everything.
Even the sheets?
Even the sheets. And I've got the iron now that I used.
You get it hot on the stove?
Big wood range. Mama had 8 irons. She had 5 rogers. One that the handle fastened onto the iron. And I used 3 irons. And she used the 5 irons. And we'd heat them on the stove. And we ironed everything. But that was all right.
And you looked sharp.
Was your mom a good cook?
Is she what?
Was she a good cook?
I don't remember. I guess she was, because we had good meals from out of the cellar.
Can you talk about that? Out of the cellar, what do you mean by that?
It's just a cellar like they have nowadays. Big hole in the ground.
Would you store your food in there?
Potatoes, we'd plant potatoes. When we'd dig them, she always had us to put the potato vines on the ground. And then we'd put the potatoes on that and then cover them up with some more vine and dirt. And they'd keep all winter. But I sure did hate to go out there and have to dig through them vines to get those potatoes out. Everything was done the hard way. Kids couldn't do that now.
Well, did they raise chickens?
We raised chickens and hogs, cattle. And Dad liked to trade horses.
Did you have a family pet?
Dog, cats. Yeah. Yeah, we were all typical farmers.
Well, in the summer when it would get so hot, would you sleep outside?
We'd move our beds outside. Of course, we had iron bedsteads. And we'd move them out. I was out in front yard. Mom and Dad was in the backyard. It was not a good life. Compared to what we have now. But it was a good life at that time. We lived in the best part of our country, what we did, where we lived. We lived in the best part of the country, of the times. There were bad times, but of all seasons and everything, we lived in the best part of the time. Some of it I would like to go back to. Some of it I wouldn't.
Well, picking cotton had to be a little hard.
Whew, that was hard. I didn't have to pick very much. I think my son drove it. But I had to snap a lot. Snap the cotton, burr and all. But they had kind of quit picking cotton when I got old enough. But that was hard to pick that cotton out of them burrs.
Well, was church an important part of your growing up?
No,
No.
not really. My mother wouldn't go. Of course, if she didn't go, the kids didn't go. After my sister and I got, the one next to me, we got old enough to go by ourselves, we went to church.
How would you get there?
Walk. We lived, when we lived down before us, we just lived across the road from a country church.
You did a lot of walking in those days.
A lot of walking, a lot of horseback riding.
Horseback. Okay.
I rode a horse all my life, nearly. When I was little, my brother had a black mare, and she was real gentle, and I was set on her when I was about 4 years old. All day, go out and have her out in the yard, and I just sat on her. And then I rode horses all my life.
Well, what was the horse's name?
Bess.
Bess.
Bess, and I had 2 horses. They looked just about alike, but they were a horse and mare. And I rode 2 of them. Well, I rode all of Dad's horses. We'd go to the field. At noontime come by, I'd get on one of the horses and ride to the house.
Well, do you remember seeing your first car? Or your dad getting his first one?
I remember him getting, not his first car, but first car that I can remember him getting was a Model T Ford. And we were really proud of it. Oh, I don't know.
The roads were different back then too.
Yes.
Well, did you ever think you would make it to 100?
I said if I could make it to 80 and see both my kids married off, happily married off, I'd be ready to go. But I never dreamed I'd live to be 100. But my daughter is happily married. She has 2 girls and 4 or 5 grandkids.
Well, did any of your brothers, did your brother or your sisters live to 100? You're the first?
Mama was 99,
Oh, there you go.
and my sister next to me was 98. And my other sister was 88. And I think my brother was in his 80s.
There's longevity there. Any reason why?
Dad was in 93 when he died. Oh no,
What do you think the secret is?
hard work,
Hard work.
hard work. My mother was a workaholic. She didn't want a day to pass that she didn't work all day. She was really,
And she was from Texas?
yep. Texans are all great. I don't know why people think Texas is such a grand place.
It's just big.
My daughter just thinks Texas is all over. She lives in Dallas. She says stop or something. I don't know what she told you to do.
That's making noise.
He's making too much noise.
Oh, I see. Noisy.
Just trying to write some of those ages down.
So you got married when? How old, you said you were
I was
20. So 1934
Yeah. February the 17th.
to Jim. So your maiden name was
Young.
Young. And how long were you married to Jim before he passed?
We like, I think 3 or 4 months being 50 years.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And he was 15 years older than I was.
Well, he robbed the cradle.
He robbed the cradle. But he was really good to me. So,
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Yeah.
No.
We just went home and slept in my own bed.
But you made your dress.
Yes, I made my dress. I still got it too.
Did you get married in church or at the Justice of the Peace?
At the preacher's house.
Preacher's house.
We went there at night, one Saturday night. And then we went to the show. Then we went home. We didn't have any money to go anywhere.
Not in 34, things were tough.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. Well, did he serve in the military?
No.
He was too old, I guess. About that. He was too old.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't serve.
Didn't serve.
I think he was just about ready to go. He called when it was over.
When it's over. Do you remember that day when they
Yeah.
declared war over?
No, I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Well, what about the Dust Bowl? Do you remember the Dust Bowl days out here?
Do I ever? They were bad. And you could cover everything up in the house and it'd still get covered with dirt. I can remember at one time, it was about milking time, and we could see that dark cloud north of us, and it was dirt. Oh, the dust was terrible.
How did you keep it out of the house or try to?
You couldn't keep it
couldn't.
out of the house. Of course, our houses weren't brick then. Wood houses.
Keep it out of the kitchen?
Well, you couldn't keep it. And our beds of a morning would be just covered with sand.
Those are pretty tough times on the farm. What did you do to survive in terms of farming?
Just dealing with it, just whatever we could do. And we had hard winters then too.
Would snow come in the house?
No. We couldn't use. But the cattle would back up into the shed and the snow would get them covered up in there. It snowed hard and a lot. We had hard winters, and winter started about October.
Well, how did you stay warm during the winter?
Chop wood. Wood heaters. And we burned wood. But a lot of that stuff is what I lay awake at night and dream about. Is my past. And I guess, in a way, that's why I don't like to live here. I don't like to live here. This is a nice place. The people are nice to me. But it's not home. I don't care how humble home is, this is not home. I'm just sitting here, waiting to die. That's all I'm here for, just waiting to die. Well, I may live 3 or 4 more years, who knows?
Who knows?
And I'll just be sitting here waiting to die. Well, I want to die at home.
Well,
And I could get out at home and walk around and do what I want to do. I can't here. Had my son buy me an onion the other day. Well, he bought 2 and I ate part of one. And I put that in the refrigerator there. And the day before yesterday, she came in, she says, "Goldie, you got onion in here." I said, "I sure have." "Well, it smells." And it was. I didn't smell it in here because I was in here with Alta. But I said, "Look over there in the refrigerator." And she took it out. I don't have an onion anymore. And I love onions. I think onions are healthy.
You like to eat them raw.
But they said you could have anything you wanted. So I got the onion, but I don't have it now.
What's a typical day like for you? What time do you get up and what?
I get up about 5.
And what's a typical? What do you do? Do you have a morning ritual? Do you?
I get myself cleaned up. Get my teeth in. Get my hearing aids in. And then I'm usually ready to go eat about 7. But I leave the room at 7:30 to go down to the dining room. And then we have to wait. It's usually about 15 or 20 after 8 before we get our breakfast. We're supposed to get it at 8, but we don't. It's usually about 15, at least 15 minutes. I think it's about almost about 8:30 this morning when we got it.
And then what? After you eat breakfast, what do you do?
I come back up here and I get on the bed and I go to sleep and sleep till almost noon. I don't sleep well at night. I fell out of that bed once.
Oh,
And I almost do. Well, it seems like it's lower on the side and I can't stay in it. I'll roll over, I'll roll out.
Do you read during the day? Watch TV?
I don't watch, I have television on, but I don't watch it. Same way at home I did. I always had television or radio on. I wanted a noise, but I wouldn't watch it.
did you read much?
I can't read now, I can't see well enough.
Okay.
I was before I came in here, I could. But I don't know, something about it, it's taken my eyesight away.
When did you come here?
December.
Not too long.
I can't hardly see to do anything.
And then you go to dinner,
Yeah.
and then what time do you go to bed? At night?
I go to bed about 7 or something like that. A lot earlier than I used to go. I usually would, at home I'd sit up till 10 or 11 o'clock. But I don't do it because I can't do anything. Just sit. I can't see to read. And I'm trying to work some puzzle, but I can't see where they go. But I'm gonna try. I said, I'll leave it on the table and I'll come by and maybe find 1 or 2 pieces will fit.
That's about as good as I am.
I did them up there. Well, I didn't do them all. I had some help.
Well, I want to back up. When you were in school, did you have a favorite subject?
I guess math and reading. I used to like to read.
Did you ever do art?
Not very much.
Not much.
And my daughter brought me a book yesterday when she came up.
The color?
Pictures to color. And I'm not no good at that.
What did you like to read? When you could read, what did you like to read?
Oh, I don't know, just a book, storybook,
Novels or biographies or
novels.
novels?
I used to read at home. I read to my dad. He didn't. I don't guess he read. I'd read Western stories to him. Every night we'd read Western stories.
Louis L'Amour?
Yeah.
Well, what would you do for fun?
Dance.
Dance. Okay. Play sports?
No, I didn't play many sports. And I don't go out and play their games here either. But of course they're just little kids' games here. I mean,
But you like music and dance?
music and dance and ride horses.
What kind of dancing? Ballroom dancing, square dancing?
Some square dancing, not like they dance now. Square dancing, I couldn't do it the way they do it. But I can't hear it. I don't hear very well. But I love to dance. I started dancing when I was 4. I'd hold Mama loved to dance. And I'd hold her dress tail and dance around with her. And I danced all my life until I married. And then I stopped dancing until Jim died. And I started in again. Lady friend and I, her husband was dead too, and we danced together. She was the man and I was the woman.
And you had fun?
We had loads of fun, and we traveled quite a little bit. I had got a new car, and I said, I'll give you the key, and we'll travel. So we went to several states.
On Route 66?
No, we went up in the northern states mostly. We went to Canada,
Oh, out of the country.
just all over the country.
And this was a friend of yours?
In the car.
Edna
Uh-huh.
Cryer?
Crier.
How long had you known her?
Oh, ever since, I don't know, a long time. Ever since her kids started school. And I was teaching, I was a cook at Stanford.
It's a long
So
time.
it's been
Long
a
time.
long time.
Well, I want to back up too. I called it dinner. Did you call it supper? Breakfast, lunch, and
Breakfast, dinner, and supper.
supper. Okay. Dinner was the noon meal.
But all meals were good. We didn't have sandwiches and cookies and stuff like that. We had meals, food.
Meat, potato, and something green.
Yep.
What would you drink?
Water, I think, mostly.
Mostly. Not soda.
No.
Did you have a milk cow? Yeah, a dairy cow?
Oh, yes. I could milk a cow. And I can have 'em kick the bucket over too.
You sound like that happened once or twice.
Yes, I saw it happen.
Would you make homemade ice cream?
Yes. With the
Where would you get the ice?
down.
In town. Had to go get it.
And we didn't have at home, we didn't have a freezer. And we usually would have company. And Mama bring her tub in and put 2 syrup buckets in that tub and put the milk and ice cream mix in the buckets and turn it back and forth.
She'd churn it. Huh?
Yep.
Vanilla?
Can't you imagine seeing kids now sit there and turn that bucket back and forth in that tub of ice? We did. You'd have to open the buckets maybe once or twice. Drink ice cream down so it would freeze all over. Oh, everything was harder to do, but it was good.
And just the way it was.
That's the way it was.
Well, I want to know, when history is written, what would you like it to say about you?
Nothing.
Well, how do you want to be remembered?
Just my name is all. I don't want to go to the dancer, I guess, because I danced all my life.
Goldie the dancer. Would you know where you got your name? Goldie? You have a middle name?
I don't know, and I don't know this. My name is Goldie, Gold. My next sister next to me was Sylvie, Silver. My other sister was Ruby, Ruby. Whether they did that on purpose like that, or if it just happened so. And my brother was Jimmy. That was a Jim. I don't feel like they realized they named us that way. But that's the way it turned out.
What was your middle name?
Iretta.
Iretta. Goldie Iretta. Pretty.
Sylvia Alberta. And Ruby Rachel. And Jimmy Leroy. Excuse me. But I guess I had a good life. Everything went well. And I have a very good family. My daughter is married and she's got 2 children. And each one of them has 3 children. And 2 of them, I don't know. But anyway, they all got, her kids are all through college. They've all got good jobs teaching. One of them is he's in New York teaching some big school. And the next one is, he didn't like school and he didn't go to college but that one semester and he dropped out. But he has a good job with well, I can't. My memory's getting old.
Oh, you're doing great. They came from good stock.
I can. Well, but the granddaughter has got a good teaching job. Well, they're all have got good educations and good jobs, and I'm proud of them.
That's good. I'm sure they're proud of you.
I think they are.
Well, we thank you for talking with us. It was
I
it's fun.
haven't told much interest, but
No, it's been great.
Oh, even more.
We'll let Alex do his part so you can visit with your children.
well, they were going to take me out to the house.
Okay, we don't want to stop that.
My house is here in town.
Okay,
They were going out to the house for a while.
okay.
If they can get me in the car.
Well, we hope. Thank you for talking with us.
You're quite welcome.